who's borough manager of Clifton Heights, and he's doing multiple temps. This contract gave this man the right to shake property owners down in this town so he could get paid.
No.
Now, then how else can I say it?
Can I finish?
How else can I say it?
Can I finish? You said we paid him so much money, and it wasn't about the shakedown because you guys don't understand what code is. You asked me a question, so I'm going to explain it to you. We had, in the last 4 years, we've had 3 zoning hearings. Not only did we have one that lasted over a year, that was our zoning officer. That's a different salary. But in those contracts, you're waving up how much he's taking out of here, but in the contract, if you read it right, it said that their salaries was coming out of what they were bringing into the borough. And with the property maintenance, let me finish, because you asked me to explain it to you, Freddie. And with the property maintenance, $40,000 of it came back into the borough because we did not have our codes department leaning in our general fund. They got paid what they brought in. Then we had a years long with the bus depot. Yes, Catania is handling the bus depot now, but that bus depot was in the making for the last 3 years. So when you sit here and say that that man was shaking people down, no, there was more than one thing under codes. All y'all did was get rid of the property maintenance part of it. But y'all don't have a zoning officer. If we had a zoning...
$120,000 a year in a 4-block town.
It was
this
not...
man, I do want to make a motion eventually to sue this man. This man is made $120,000, and this contract, if it was bringing it in, was bringing about $60,000 in rental fees. Okay, but where did the other $70,000 come from?
The codes did not.
He bought it.
Martha, actually.
Go ahead, Martha.
Somebody recognize?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, and this is the last question, then we're going to go to public comment.
When you had property looked at by the company that we had before.
We're just
Can you
going to
talk
call him
into the
Mr.
mic?
Shakedown.
No, we're not going to call Mr. Shakedown.
Mr.
because I
Shakedown.
do not.
Miss Van Auken, talk into the
He
mic.
used our lawyer, he
Excuse
used
me.
the court system to shake property owners down in this town. He destroyed the real estate values in this town, and you're backing him up.
Excuse me.
And you're supporting him, and that was the end result of what that man did to this town.
More so.
And I do want to make a motion to sue the man.
I'd like to answer that. I'd like to answer the question.
ahead.
I won't stop talking. Okay. First of all, when he went out, or whoever went out to do the apartments, there would be a UNO and there would be a property fee for rental. Those are 2 different things, and they were both put into the QuickBooks in 2 different categories. And that's where the money came in to pay for him. Besides the tickets that were given and people went to court with, that was another fee that came and was paid to him. We didn't pay him with our tax dollars.
Well,
Not one. Thank you.
according
one.
to his
I
contract,
don't
he
care what
tried
the
to
contract
get in
said.
with the new
Look at the-
council
look at the
that was
books.
dated 2013.
Look in the books.
Okay, it was dated 2013. The rental program, 350 units at $75 a unit was $26,000. Building permit fees were $7,200. Local violations, $8,600 for local violations in a 4-block town. Okay, you supported a man, okay, that used this borough to enrich himself. Okay, and code enforcement before him was $10,000 a year. Dan Rutland, we're voting on $1,400 a month. This made it was. Reg Harris was $10,000 a year.
wasn't $10,000.
Okay, okay, I want to make a motion. Okay.
No,
Was he also the building inspector when they fixed the firehouse floor here that was never fixed?
He had nothing to do with it.
He had nothing. He was the building inspector. So your engineer got paid. The building inspector got paid.
That's right.
okay? They all got
Structural
paid.
engineer was the people that came out here and did the floor. Our codes department didn't have anything to do with it because we went out and got someone that was forensically,
Was your dad's cousin?
Freddie, the only reason you keep bringing up this anyway is because Tony was on you about your properties. That is why you ran.
Okay, now I want to tell you.
Mr. Lesher,
my
can I
steps on
cut
the
you
side
off
of
for a
my
minute?
house.
Mr. Lesher.
Okay,
Mr. Lesher.
go
Mr.
ahead.
Lesher, we need to give the audience the
Let
respect and
the
let
audience-
them make comments to the finance.
Sure, go ahead. Well, my big thing is.
Madam President,
After this,
can I have
$1,400
one simple
a year.
question for finance? One simple question.
Bringing this
20,000, because he took $100,000 more out of this town that should have been taken out of
And
this
you also
town.
lowered the value of your house, and now you've taken our money too.
Fred, I have one question for you.
Go ahead.
Mr. Muse has the floor.
Once we get this 2012 audit done, will that shed a lot more light on our finance, how we stand?
Oh, yeah,
Yes. Once our audit's
definitely.
done.
Once the audit's done, it should have been done in 2012, not 2014. What happened to the money from 2012 that was supposed to go to do that audit that we're paying for now? Where'd that money go, Mr. Were we just handing envelopes out to people? Did it go in Mr. Tartaglio's pocket? Did it go in NDI's pocket?
All
Because,
right, is there any comments from the public?
okay?
Okay,
It has nothing to do with Freddie
Finance.
Lesher.
we're moving
Finance
on
only.
to
Go ahead,
municipal.
finance only.
Finance only.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
We're moving-
stand up.
My name is Ruth Mueller. I thought NDI did the fire station repairs. Are you saying an outside company did it now?
Yes. Our engineers had an outside structural engineer to come in because we had to make sure before we put that fire truck in there that it would support it. Then we had them come back. That fire truck has been in there since 2010. And we have had constant work, and our structural engineer has constantly come out here to make sure. Now, our engineer has said that it needs more work. We were told that we had to have our fire truck, which the borough owns, out in the rain because we no longer can put it in there. And that is not true. It has to have more support added to it, but we own that fire truck.
But what I'm saying is, this is why the original fire company 10 moved out of the building and built their own, was because of that. Oh, yes, it was.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. No, it
Why
wasn't.
do we need
Oh,
3
yeah.
fire
No,
trucks?
it's not a requirement, that's not
Jeanette.
Yes, it was.
The reason is,
Jeanette, why do we need 3 fire trucks, son?
no, we
First
have
of all-
2 fire trucks.
The grade pieces?
We had 2 fire trucks.
First of all, Paul,
Madam President.
here.
Can we move on to
Yeah,
municipal?
We'll talk later.
Yeah, we don't need 3
Madam
trucks.
President, I just have a few questions, please.
On finance?
Yes.
Yes.
Finance.
Good evening, Council.
Good evening, Mr.
Wanted
Nuevo.
to know, all this badgering and badgering and badgering and badgering, the network and the Taglia and so on and so forth. Mr. Lesher, I have a few questions for you,
Go ahead.
okay? How much money has been collected this year?
This year, 1.2 million.
1.2 million. How much is left in the bank?
I just gave it the report. Is the report over there?
400,000.
400,000. Yeah, I just.
How about all of council don't have a report?
498,000, son.
400, yeah.
Mr. Lesher, how come all of council don't have a report?
I have one here.
I got
thought it was put over there.
It
was.
Over here.
They're
Yeah.
supposed to be giving
I
out.
put them over there.
Yeah, they're over there. Give them out, Fred.
If you remember correctly, you started the meeting ahead of time before I was able
It's
to
7
hand
o'clock, the
out.
meeting starts
I got
at 7
mine
o'clock,
over there.
not caller time.
They're on the table.
There you go. Something you never gave to anybody.
That's
You-
right.
Mr. Lesher, I didn't get one.
Give the president one.
I'm
Why don't you
sorry.
act like
Sorry
you're
about
politician?
that.
Fred, give me one.
Stop being
The
personal.
mayor.
No, it's not personal. You kept everything
All right, let's
personal.
bring it back, let's bring it back.
Yes.
Can you finish, Mr. Nuevo?
Does everybody have one on the table?
Mrs. Perkins,
You guys,
It isn't.
I want to finish. The reason why I asked that question, so in other words, $800,000 has been spent from January to, this is August, right? budgeted, that's what.
Yeah.
Now, one of the reasons why when you was running, we were promised that once you guys come in, it was also stated in the first day of the inaugural session that there will be an audit done to know where the borough's accounts are and going forward what needs to be done. That there will be a financial blueprint as to how to get this town out of debt and everything that's supposed to happen moving forward. There will also be a promise made that property taxes will be reduced. I don't know if there's any homeowner here. If anybody has gotten the $500 that was promised, I don't see anybody have gotten it. Why I'm asking this question is, we can be talking about Paglia and Tonetpa and all, Matabaraki and all. We can say that for the next 10 years, we're going to be talking about it. What I need to see is, what is it that's in the books to get this town out of the mess that's in, if it's in finances, and be able to reduce the taxes. We cannot control what has happened or what happened in the past. The next person is no longer a council president. She's a regular person like everyone.
She does create enough yes, okay.
I understand the whole thing.
Can
What I'm
Mr.
saying
Sunday finish?
What I'm saying here is, why not the focus be on what can be done to help the taxpayers that are struggling, people that are losing their homes, things that could be done to improve the welfare of children in the parks. None of the parks has been rebuilt. We have to take children to all them and show here to play. So nobody's saying anything on those things. All I'm hearing here, somebody makes 120,000, or you give this up, you give this up. What is the hope going forward for anybody that live in this town? What is in the town that will attract somebody who want to buy a home to come here to buy? These are things I think council should begin to focus on to be able, because the past, if you're looking at the past, you cannot move forward.
Sunday, let me answer
That's
that.
just my advice.
Sunday?
Because
No,
if I answer my-
no, we need to
What I'm saying
move
is
forward.
no
We're spending
disrespect.
too much time on one
No,
house and one
no
No
committee.
disrespect to Mr. Lesher, Mr. Brundage, or Massa Camara. When they came in January 6th, they didn't know what they
Excuse
were
me,
walking
Mr.
into.
Muser.
But you'll get a
Mr.
reduction next
Muser, you're
year.
out of order, okay?
I'm sorry.
So that's my only advice to council. Thank you.
Thank you. We're moving on to the municipal report.
Municipal Services, the Highway Department. Our trucks are now all up and running and have been inspected. Some of the trucks haven't been inspected for 4 years.
Wow.
Okay, that's 4 years. All have been repaired. I know when we took over the police department, the police cars were inspected and didn't have access to get gasoline, but then we're also, all school crossing and crosswalks will be painted next week in preparation for the upcoming school year. Okay? We are in the process of getting our equipment ready for snow removal. Okay? And all the parks I've been checked all the parks. The grass has been cut. The grass got a little high on a few of them, but you know, they're all cut as now. All the handicap spaces are being reviewed and renewed or removed. And I did get to the highway department has been working on with general sewer to monitor and review our sewer system. And we did have a $300,000 sewer grant that we had to give back to the state because we didn't have our audits done. For whatever reason that was, not to have our audits done. Maybe
That was not the reason.
Miss Martha can answer that question.
That was not the reason.
Well, why weren't the audits done?
We're not going back and forth,
Why were they
Mr.
on the stop?
Lesher and Mrs. Purdy. We're not going back
Go
and
ahead.
forth. Can you
Why?
finish your report and then she can ask questions after you
Yeah.
finish your report?
The street lights are being repaired and upgraded with LED lights when possible. And if anybody has any lights that are out, report them.
Is there any questions from the audience on the municipal report? Well, I have a question on the municipal report. Mr. Lesher, who authorized all of the new handicap signs and the signs that's underneath them for the fines?
I didn't. I didn't authorize any of the new ones. I just thought we had the signs here and maybe they push them around. Who has authorized the president council?
No,
No, it should have came to the table as a
no,
vote,
no.
okay? And until people are recognized to be, to speak, they need not say anything.
Madam President, may I be recognized to speak?
Anyone from the public have, to
Madam
say
President,
whether,
may I be recognized to speak? Madam President, may I be recognized to
No,
speak?
this is a, you know what, no. This is what
You asked a question,
No.
I have the answer.
No.
Council is not
Going against your
authorized.
own rule. Yeah,
The
let
mayor
us speak.
and the
Let's
chief
go.
have strict control over the handicap spots. They are in
Yes,
charge of the
yes.
streets.
Okay,
No one
does the
can do
mayor
anything.
and the chief authorize payment for that?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Who gives the mayor or the chief
Authorized
the
payment
right
for
to
what?
use
Handicap signs
taxpayers'
and
money?
street signs?
It's taxpayers' money, Paula? Is it taxpayers' money? It's either
Over
yes or no.
$300,000 was misappropriated from
Miss-
your
you know
administration on people
We're
gassing their
going to-
vehicles,
That's
personal
that's why we
vehicles,
can't get nothing done.
personal
No, with
vehicles,
these people.
cash
That's one of the reasons why
withdrawals,
we can't
and
get
you're gonna
nothing
worry
done.
about $30
Yes.
for a handicap
Yes.
sign?
Yes.
For an
Yes.
elderly person
Yes.
who needs it?
Yes,
You ought to be
because
ashamed of
your
yourself.
$300,000 misappropriated funds has not been
Did you ever
proven
gas your own
as
personal
of
vehicle?
yet.
Don't forget
How many
the hand
personal
sanitizer.
vehicles have been gassed in this borough? Mrs. Bray, have you ever gassed your personal
Do you have a
vehicle?
report for public safety?
Are you sticking your middle finger up at me?
Mrs. Brown, who gave you the floor?
Can't answer a question?
Who gave you the floor?
Officer Lieutenant Craig just
that's-
made an
come on,
obscene
come on,
gesture to
come on,
pull
Jesse.
up around.
I don't know who cares about
You don't
that.
spend taxpayers' money on your own
Public
personal
safety,
car.
is there a report for public safety?
Public safety report.
I'm not making a report on, in protest
you.
over the illegal agenda.
Do we have,
It is illegal.
there is no motions at a committee meeting. Mr. Brundage,
That's not what I'm talking about.
okay?
You
The
misunderstand,
next
as
is
usual.
the tax collector report. The mayor's report. Do you have a report?
Right, no.
Anyone have any questions for the mayor?
I have a question.
I do.
Mayor and the public secretary. A question for, last council meeting I was here, and I believe the solicitor was here, I made it very clear that the town should not be having one police officer on duty at night. The town is not very safe right now. Everybody that lives here knows it. Last 2 weeks,